today from Kinshasa in the DRC is Red Rock Resources CEO Andrew Bell. Andrew, we said we'd catch up. How are things?
Very well, thank you. I hear you've got some traffic at that end. Of course, we always have it at this end, but we've assembled here today. So good.
Yeah, good. Well, hopefully the traffic is not slowing too many things down. We want to talk about the court case in a moment, but the news announced this morning, and so the implementing of a new joint venture in the DRC. This is also what we talked about last time. We wanted to look at joint ventures and, of course, conclude that court case and get your arbitration money sent over. So just take us through this new joint venture, because there's some history here, isn't there? But now it looks like it's moving forward.
Well, yes, because we had, helping us with the court case and the arbitration, we had a very good partner here, Patrick Tusku. And after we'd been working with him for a while, we discovered that what he'd been working on for 3 years was his concept, his vision of building low-cost housing in the Congo, which, of course, is a brilliant vision, a brilliant idea. And he put an incredible amount of work in it. It was really good. But then, and we were really unaware that this was his main line of work, what he was trying to do, and that we were kind of a sideshow. Till one day, he said, a year and a bit ago, he said to me, look, he said, we had Lebanese partners we were doing this with for a long time, progressing it. They tried to go behind my back. Can't trust them anymore. One thing we know about you, I'm not going to personalize it myself, but about Red Rock is you are honorable people, and we know we can work with you, and we trust you. And so you know about the mining side of this, because after all, it's a program of getting good mines, producing from them, and instead of paying tax and royalty, dedicating that money to building social housing under the 2014 Public-Private Partnership Act. And the structure's been tried before with Sikomin in China, who got some really good licenses, from which I think they've made 3 or 4 billion profit. And their deal was that they would build roads, infrastructure.
Okay.
So it's a well-trodden path. Patrick had been down it a bit with the previous people. And he said, look, you be our partner, you come in. So we went into something which has already had a tremendous amount of work done it. And of course, he knows quite a bit about the local environment and about the housing demand and the people that can help with that. Of course, anything that's on scale, we'll have to bring in a whole lot of new capabilities, because nobody will have done this on scale in a semi-industrial way. But on the mining side too, we're going to have to go quickly. And, a lot of these exploration companies start off with exploration personnel, geologists, and they find that they're actually developing something into a mine. You have to almost change the entire personnel because you want miners. And so this is nothing new to us as a concept, but we have to develop our ideas. And as we do, we have to learn new skills and bring in the people with those skills. But we thought, yes, we can work together. And so for the last year, we've been working on that. Initially, I was really concerned. I said, we shouldn't be putting more money into the Congo until we prove we can get some out by getting that arbitration and judgment through. And Patrick was very sympathetic with that, and he was expecting us to get those much faster than in fact we did. And but as time went by, we realized we haven't actually got that money yet. And we said, well, we can't put in money we haven't got. And we still have this problem of we don't want to put money in when we haven't proved that we can get it back from the other projects, because people would say, why are you putting more in? So then we have managed to get it into a situation where we don't have to put money in. Essentially, all we had to do is pay for this little office here, which is a rented office, which our guys painted and decorated themselves, done very well, and it's got a little staff. It's a really cheap operation, but it enables us to qualify to get government contracts, and we signed one. And the ministry is keen to amplify this, build on it, and do much more.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a little bit different, for sure. I want to understand, first of all, what Red Rock bring to this joint venture. What will you actually be doing? And is there any win in it for you? Is there any money in it for you?
Yes. I mean, because obviously when we do a normal mining operation, we expect to pay profits if we make profit. We expect to pay royalties because every government puts in a
Yeah.
royalty. And if we do a financial deal with the government, which is permitted under the, as I said, the Public-Private Partnership Act, then instead of doing some of these things, we will provide services. We will work with people to make sure that social housing gets built.
Okay.
And after all, you can imagine the kind of problems this is designed to solve. Because if you look at Secomin, the Chinese company that did the first one of these under the 2014 Act, they were given some very good assets, and they were told, yes, you can build roads instead of paying taxes. And so they've made 3 or 4 billion profit.
Okay.
And I have no independent evidence of that, but this is what people here tell me. And they haven't built nearly enough roads, but they have built some. But if you'd asked a local contractor to build the roads, you can imagine there would have been a lot of headaches and problems for the government along the way, because everybody who touched the thing would expect to make money and not small money.
Okay.
So it might not be done well. And by getting professional organizations like Secomin, like ourselves, to do this, I mean, the Chinese can get things done. And I hope that we and our local partners can get things done.
Okay.
So I hope this is a real win-win for everybody.
Okay. Well,
as for making money,
go on.
yes.
As for making money, is that like an offset from when you actually get some profits?
The object of our doing this originally was, hey, this means that we're going to be favored. We're going to be like a most favored nation. We'll get really good licenses. But after a while, we looked at how the housing thing would work. And actually, that's going to generate profits.
Okay. Okay. So you can get the profits from doing the work with this building of the housing anyway, and then it puts you in good favor with the government, so that when you do.
Well, no, I mean, I think the primary profit will come from, of course, the mining and the royalties and tax.
Yes.
Because that's big business. But when we're building the housing, that will start at a certain level.
Okay.
But the government's going to put in money too. So if one is in there, over time, one will find that grows into a very substantial business, only part of which is financed by our profits. Because once you start, they don't want to stop. The government's behind this, so there'll be public money going in as well. And so Patrick in particular and ourselves will be providing some management and expertise and so on.
Okay. So this is like almost, I wouldn't say a goodwill, but this is something you can do with the government to work in country to then help you to get a mine going, to identify opportunities, and then have sort of favourable terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Patrick started off wanting to do the housing. We started off wanting to do the mining, and the government wants to see the houses built.
Okay.
We come together, everyone can do their bit, but we can make money out of the housing. Believe me, that's going to end up as a big business.
Okay.
Because if you ask Grok or any of the AI things, how many houses a year, low-cost houses, the Congo needs to produce over the next few years, you'll get more or less the same answers that we think are correct. They'll say, 400,000 or 500,000 low-cost houses a year. So we don't expect, of course, to get all that business, but there is something to be said for being first.
Sure. You will, of course, need to find the project, I guess, and start that going. So, I mean...
No, the first 3 sites have already been identified. The Ministry for Rural Development is putting up the money for the factories, their transportation over, their construction and commissioning, which all happens very quickly, a matter of, I don't know, sort of 3 to 5 months.
I was meaning, I think, more on the project mining side, Andrew. So when you look to actually get a mine going in a joint venture, where are you with identifying that?
What we do now is we're planning, I hope we get there next week, to go and look at. We had a short list of mines that were presented to us, choose 1 or 2 of these a year ago. But we weren't really in a position to proceed, because after all, these are prime properties that everyone wants. So there's a lot of jealousy around. But as long as people could say, well, they haven't got an office, they're not really there, they're a startup. They haven't actually got a contract to build these houses. We didn't really have a particularly strong position. So in a way, we've hauled ourselves up by our bootstraps, to the position where we are now.
Okay.
And the thing that has really made it possible has been the ministry saying, we don't want to hang around with this. We're the Ministry for Rural Development. This is absolutely core, central to what we want to do. You can provide these houses cheap.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well,
So they put out the money.
You will let us know, I'm sure, when you start looking at these joint venture opportunities. Finally, of course, the other angle that you're in the DRC for is, of course, the famous arbitration. How are things looking?
Yep. We thought we were there, and then the legal vacation came. And their legal vacation only ended with a new court term last Wednesday. So there's been a few sort of days of speechifying and appointments, that sort of thing. But as part of this, they set up a review mechanism for some cases that we've been dealt with recently. And so what we thought we were going to get before, we're in the first batch. They're looking at it now, and I think it'll be very quick. But, touch wood as always.
Indeed. Okay, well, thank you, Andrew Bell, the CEO of Red Rock Resources, for giving us that update today.
Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at StockBoxMedia.com. Thank you for watching.